All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever your case may be. It's an afternoon here with me today. Today is gonna be June the 4th. We're gonna do a little DIY, I guess you could say. We got to replace a trolling motor battery on my little John boat here. This is my little one. My other boat, it's still in the shop, so I'm still fishing out of this one. The problem is I had this boat here set up for about 6 months when I bought my new boat. Well, they're like old cars. When you start letting one set up, you start having issues. So I actually wound up having to replace this battery here last week. Right now, that's the battery that I had that runs the trolling motor, which is right there up front there. That for that trolling motor. So today I got to replace. It was this battery, but I took it out and swapped it around for the battery for the main motor, for the gas motor, the cranking battery for that. Now, this battery here, it actually runs all my electronics, my depth finder, my little hockey putt for my GPS, which is right here on this little thing here. I don't know if you guys, this is my little, what they call the hockey putt for the GPS on the trolling motor there. So we're going to do some swapping around, and it's been up to about 90 degrees here lately, so I hadn't fished in the last couple of days. I mean, I don't like fishing out of this little boat. I can to make a video. So, anyways, I need to get a video together for YouTube, so figured I'd bring you guys out here with me to my little boat shed here. As you see, I got all some of my fishing equipment and junk back here in the back. But we gonna we're gonna start pulling some of these batteries out and start swapping some of these batteries here. And I just figured I'd bring y'all along with me and let y'all help. So our first thing that we're gonna need to do is to get this battery here out and put it back there. So with that being said, let's see if I can get y'all set up here where y'all can have a bird's eye view of what I want, what I need. So that's going to be actually a 9/16 for this. Make sure I got everything turned off, got everything unplugged, because this is my triple charger here. I'm gonna make sure I had that thing unplugged. Get these batteries off of here and get everything swapped around. And the reason why I'm swapping these batteries here around, the battery that I bought today is a bigger battery than these two batteries here are. It's like that one out there, the new battery that I just bought today is a 750 cranking amps, and these are only 650 cranking amps. So I need to have the biggest battery that I've got for my trolling motor because it's going to be pulling the most current, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So that's why we're swapping all these around. And then this battery here that I have is actually the smallest battery, or this battery here that I'm taking out is the smallest battery that I have on this boat. I think it's 600 cranking amps, 650, something like that, 550, something maybe. So I'm going to put it on my other motor back here for my gas motor because the gas motor actually has a generator that would charge that battery. So it's not under as much pressure. In other words, is what I'm trying to get at. So it's the oldest battery and the smallest battery. So we're going to take it and use it for this battery, or this let's see, I'm trying to see here which ones. All right, this is my negative side here. Let me get y'all around here. And so y'all can see where I'm at here now. Let's see if it's going to show up pretty good there on the camera there. But that's one battery we're hooking up on this one here. Anyways, this is going to be my negative post here. That's going to be my positive post there. Of course, I need to actually replace that end, but I've been lazy and I hadn't done it. It still works. It's still getting a connection. It just it has its ups and downs, I guess, but it works. So I hadn't cut that off of there and replaced it per se. But the battery that I had to swap out, the one that was bad, I charged that thing 3 different days, and it was dead. So the first 2 days I charged it, put it on a boat, carried it to the lake. 10 minutes it'd be dead. So yesterday I charged it, which was going to be the 3rd time, and here at the house I charged it up here at the house and swapped it around to this motor back here, and it wouldn't even turn the motor on. It was so weak. So I said, yep, it's time for a new battery. So that knocked me out of a day of fishing today, which I was going to fish today to make a video for you guys on YouTube. And that didn't happen, of course, because I'm having battery issues. All right, so I got that hooked up. Let me try to bump this motor. All right, good. So it turned the motor over, so that's all good there. All right, so let's get you guys back over here, back in the box here. Get you clamped on here where I need you guys at, so y'all can have a bird's eye view of what I'm doing here again. All right, let me do this here real quick, just to say hello to everybody, because I don't think I was on the camera when I first started this. Yeah, I was. But anyways, here I am. So anyway, so now we got to unhook this battery and move it there. If that makes sense to everybody. Yeah, hook up all that other mess down there. It looks like a bunch of mess, but I can have it. I know what goes to where to hook up to which battery. But if it was any other just Joe Blow, because I'm the one that actually wired this boat up whenever I bought it, so I know where everything goes. But if it was any other Joe Blow, they'll be like, man, what kind of wiring is this? But it works for me. So I unhooked the negative there. Unhooked all the stuff from the positive on that side to there. All right, now I'm going to do a little trick that I've been meaning to do with this battery that I've done to my other batteries. I just ain't done it yet. But these wires here, I'm going to zip tie all of them together. It goes to this battery here, which this is the negative. So don't get them mixed up. And the reason why I do that is so I don't get them mixed up with the other batteries. If I got 2 or 3 of them unhooked, like I can do right now at this point in time and moment, messed up with something else. So that's what I'm doing. And of course, the main wire that hooks up to this battery here is the same color. The positive battery is the same color as the negative battery on the line. So unless you know for sure which one's which, it's easy to get them mixed up. I got that dude down in there and can't get to it now. Well, let's see here. Okay. Slide this battery down just a tad. Right there. It'll stay there for a second. Let me get this wire up here. Get this little zip tie on here, so don't get them mixed up later on down the road or something. You never know. Dealing with these batteries, what you may need to have to do later on down the road. So, let's see. Right, get this back over here. Now I'm just trying to dig all of my wires out here. So, I need another hand. Don't have enough hands. So that way, when I pick this battery here up, move all this mess down to here, voila. I won't be setting that battery on top of everything. All right, like I said, any regular Joe Blow, they'd look at this and be like, what is all this mess going to? That's why I have these zip ties on here. So I know that all these wires goes to, for this battery. All right. Now, hook all this up. So this battery here, like I said, it runs, I have 2 depth finders on here, on this little boat here. It runs my depth finders, my front and the back. I have a hockey puck for my trolling motor that I was talking about. And then I have a cord that goes to this triple charger here, so I can charge up my batteries. So that's what all these cords go to here. Just so everybody knows. Woohoo, got a spark there from something. I don't know what that was sparking for. Let's try it again. Shouldn't let it sparking because I ain't got nothing turned on. Don't know why that would have sparked, because I don't think it should have. So anyways, I could have swore I seen that thing spark. I don't know. It might not have. I know this was probably in y'all's way. You couldn't have seen it if it did from where the camera's at. All right, let's see. So I got all that hooked up. I took all this extra wire over here out of my way. That way, whenever I bring in this other battery and set it in here, I ain't set it on all that mess. So I got that there, I got that done. I got that battery hooked up, got all that hooked up. All right, so got that for there. So anyways, when I have to go pay for a battery out of pocket, I buy all my batteries and stuff from O'Reilly's Auto Parts. So this is the battery we're replacing it with, which I think is going to be, I don't know for sure exactly. I want to say that guy told me this was 750 cranking amps. That says 725 there. So I don't know if that's the number or what, but I'm not sure. Anyways, but I bought the battery from O'Reilly's. If you guys want to know where I actually bought the battery, I have better luck out of them batteries. I bought one from Walmart. It lasted about 2 years. I bought one from, actually when I bought this boat, the battery that I'm replacing, I bought this boat here about 8 years ago, I'm thinking. 8 or 9 years ago. And the battery that I'm replacing right now actually was on the boat when I bought it new. So let me grab this boat, or this battery, and tote it back here so we can hook it up. Glad you guys is hanging out with me today doing this. I said, well, I need to get a video together. Somebody might be interested in how all this works sometimes. So I just bring y'all with me. Well, like I said, I wanted this battery here on my trolling motors because this is a bigger battery than the other ones. And I'm hoping it'll halfway sit down in here. There we go. I don't know if it's going to matter or not. That's not level. So what I may have to do is get me a little piece of block of wood. I'm trying to see if I can get it to slide down in there, but it's not. So what I may have to do, I'm gonna cut the camera off for a second. See if I can find me a little piece of block of wood to put up underneath this battery. Looks like it needs to come up about 2 inches on this side to level my battery out. Let's see here if this is gonna work. Yeah, I think everything's gonna work without touching. Find me a little something to put on there to raise that up. See if I can figure out how to level this thing up some. And I'll get right back with you. Cut the camera back on. So y'all stand by. Give me a minute. Let me find me something, piece of wood or something, put under there. All right, back in here. So what I wound up having to do is this is actually a 2x4 that I got mounted in here. So when I close my lid, it don't go all the way down. So what I wound up having to do is notching that little 2x4 a little bit so this side here could go down. And then the piece that I cut out, I actually wound up sticking it under the battery, put on this side, right down here, to level it out, which worked out perfect. So, now, I am ready to start hooking some of this stuff up here. And get this battery hooked back up and get it back together for you guys. So, which, like I think I said first off in the earlier video, this battery here is way bigger than the one that I had in here previous to begin with. So I figured I was going to have to do some notching somewhere or doing something just a little different. So that's what I wound up doing. I'm hoping, yeah, it's going to reach. I was going to say, I'm hoping that cord there will reach. And this is my hot wires here for that. Like I said, this is going to be my new trolling motor battery here. So it's the newest battery and the biggest battery that I've got in this boat at the present time now. That's why I wanted to hook it up to my trolling motor, because I know it was going to be pulling more power than the other ones, in other words. So get all this tightened down here. And then we can start turning some stuff on here and see what we can blow up. Hopefully nothing. Let's see, I need to get up this around this one. Tighten that one down. Tighten. Get these good and tight. The battery that I had in here that was bad, I topped it off with water. I thought maybe that's what it was. It was low water. But that didn't have no effect. That was the first day that I charged it. Second day that I charged it, the battery post was all corroded up and stuff. So I cleaned them off, poured some Coke on them, cleaned them off real good, recharged it. Of course, that wasn't the problem. So it just wound up, like I said, the battery was about 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old. So it was time for a new battery anyways. And what I normally do here is these little caps here that I got. You can normally twist them. They'll twist right off. And I'll put this cap here back on there. So nothing would, if something accidentally touched it, it wouldn't arc. And the same thing with negatives. So I've got them. So I might as well put them on here and use them for something. And then, of course, that's not going to go on there. I didn't think it would. But anyways, there's that. So we tested the gas motor earlier. So let me undo my here. Turn this on here. And let's see if all of this is going to work and come up like I need it to. Takes it a minute for this here to hummingbird. to come up with this Helix 9. Let's see, this Helix 9 here is about 5 years old. I've had it. Let's see, hit the menu button. Okay. Exit button. Voila. That looks good. Oh, that is good. I'll shut this down before it burns up my transducer down there. And cover that up. All right. So that battery seems to be good. Everything's coming on with it. So let's check out the trolling motor battery now and see if I can do this one-handed or two-handed. Actually, I'm gonna have to redo that. Shorten that trolling motor up, shaft up a little bit. So let me let's see here. See if I can come up with a spot for you guys to sit for just a second here. Let's see here. Let's get my camera right there somewhere. All right, that looks like a good angle. So what I need to do is come around here and loosen this collar up here so I can shorten up my shaft so I can get it down there where I need it. And so I ain't tearing up nothing with my prop, so my prop don't hit nothing. It should be right about there. All right, got that there. Now, let me plug up the trolling motor plug. Let's see. All right, the trolling motor is plugged up. Get that turned on. All right, let's see. What do I need here next? I need my remote for my, get you guys back over here, for my trolling motor. It's laying in this boat somewhere. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I'm sure it's going to be hid somewhere. There it is over there on the other side of the boat. Right here. So this here, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this remote, but anyway, so this is my remote for the trolling motor here. Of course, this trolling motor that I have has the spot lock and all that on it. So come back around here. So let me see here. Let me kind of get all this in view. Let me turn my prop speed up to about 4 or 5. I got about 4 or 5 right there. Okay. Turn my prop on. All right. So, question is, I got, that's on, all right, that's all the way off right there. That's at 1.5 before it clicks on, actually, which this is a new battery, probably needs to be charged up, I'm sure. Let me run it all the way up on high. So that's going to be high. All right, let me get this. Let me cut my prop off. And then I'm going to see if I can turn my trolling motor there just a little bit. I don't want to hit nothing, mess up nothing. My next little project is, I don't know if you guys can see or not on here, but one of these days, I got a collar right here where my finger is on this trolling motor. That collar's broke. It's a notch that this all sits in right here. See if I can get it to come up. But that notch right there is broke. And I got to get that fixed one of these days. That's probably going to be my next project. It's been like that for a year, so I'm not that worried about it. If it's been that way for a year. But anyways, guys, looks like I got everything there hooked up. Wipe a little bit of this sweat off of me. Like I said, it's about 90-something degrees out here today. Up underneath this little boat shed here with this tin roof on here. warms up. So now what I need to do here next is plug up my let's see, let me close this down. Make sure all this is going to be okay to shut this lid. Okay, all right. Let's see if I can get you guys around here. I think you can see it. But anyways, I got to plug up my triple charger here to charge up the batteries. Let's plug it up. And that should tell us if we got everything hooked up correctly. Hopefully we do. But anyways, yep, they're all in the red, which I figured they would be today. All three batteries, they're going to be in the red. Normally it takes about 2 hours to get a 2, maybe 3 hours to get a full charge on this thing. But anyways, guys, I'm glad you guys hung out and checked out the video there today with me. I'm gonna try to get y'all mounted here and do this little outro here. And glad you guys come by and check me out there. Like I always say, if you guys haven't liked the video, hit that like button down there. YouTube enjoys that. That way I know you guys like this. Leave me a comment. Do me a favor. Drop a comment in the comments down there. Just say, hey, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, or I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Drop me a comment. Let me know where everybody's coming from there. I'm curious to see how many viewers, how many people we're getting, and how far we're getting out there. But I appreciate you guys checking out the video. If you hadn't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe. That way, that helps us out a lot. And hit that notification bell. That way, every time that we put up a video, and YouTube will notify you whenever I put out a video. But John Boat Robert out here with another video. Wasn't no fish in this video, but it was a fishing video. We got this thing up and running, hopefully. So, appreciate you guys watching the video. We'll see you. Peace.